Hello there guys and welcome to the channel. Right, today's video might be a bit somber and I can already see several types of comments bashing at it for a couple of reasons. Number one is, oh, you're always so negative, you're very critical, you just complain and cry about everything. And there are always people who say things like that, even if they absolutely miss the point. I criticize the game and the things that are currently happening in the game or ever happened that I disagree with because I want to see the game do well. It is within my best interest to see this game thrive, like it is with pretty much everybody watching here. The more people are playing this game, the more fun for every single one of us, the more people could potentially watch my videos and so on and so forth. I want this game to do well. And I want to make sure people understand that. If I don't like every single thing that Kabam does, that's because I think they can do better. And we both, and all of us ultimately have the same goal, to see this game do as well as possible. The second one, as soon as we're going to start talking about offers, will be, yeah, but you're going to probably wail out on Cyber Weekend offers, or you're going to, spend this and do as I say, not as I do kind of thing, so on and so forth. Well, here's the thing. My situation is also significantly different. Historically, for instance, large openings on the channel are some of the most viewed videos. This is quite literally how I do make my income, and just kind of like shying away from that is a very, very different situation. For me, the channel, the opening videos, the videos I'm able to make afterwards, and the rest of the content that I create is, direct part of me doing my best on the channel, for the channel, obviously also for my account. And that being said, it's only possible because of you guys, because you are awesome, and a lot of you are actually supporting me on the streams, coming in to say hello, hitting those like buttons, sending through some super chats, stuff like that. All that being put aside, we need to talk about Cyber Weekend sales. As we can see, we already have a big banner coming up for them in the game. The offers will land in 3 days from now, on Friday afternoon. And this year particularly, I think most people should think twice to spend money. And even I am in a lot different place than I have ever been previously. And that is obviously due to the issues. I don't feel confident spending, larger sums of money on this game. I probably wouldn't bat an eye to spend like $10, $20, $30, $50, whatever. I would have to think really, really carefully right now to spend like $300 on this game. Because the current state of it, has not been the prettiest. Just go to the forums. Besides the continuous control issues that have already pushed a lot of people away. And that's another interesting thing, because there's always Kabam White Knights who are saying like, you have no proof that there are people leaving and stuff like that. Well, I do. I do have a lot of indirect proof. I can notice my own streams being smaller and the views on the videos being less. I personally know a large amount of people who have left. And financial statistics also report that. Quarter to quarter on financial earnings, this has been by far the biggest drop this game has ever had. Even though the financial earnings have gone steadily up this year from quarter 1 to 2 to 3, when you compare them quarter to previous years, then this game has effectively landed back 2 or 3 years to where it was in its second or third year. And that is really, really bad. And a lot of people also obviously exaggerate. Oh, this game's dead, or this game's dying. The game has been dying since I started playing it, pretty much. Or after the first year I started playing it, the game has been dead or dying. And that is not necessarily true. Rather than thinking in absolutes, we need to think whether the player base is increasing or decreasing. How we are changing size-wise, activity-wise, engagement-wise as a community. And in my personal opinion, it's been about 6, 7, 8 months when player base steadily has been declining by 1, 2, 3%. And think for it yourself. Do you think that right now, with all of these game issues, there are more people starting to play this game actively? Or there are more people who are saying, no, enough is enough? I think it's the latter. I think that there are more people who, just can't deal with it anymore. With all the constant issues, problems, and so on and so forth. And this video isn't meant to kind of like bash at Kabam too much, I know for a fact they have a ton of vacancies open. So it is reasonable to think that they are understaffed and overworked. But at the same time, as a player who's, experiencing the product, it's not necessarily my problem or anybody else's problem. It's up to them to fix it. And it's up to them to provide a game that functions the best it can. I personally also believe that there is very big flaws on the work culture in Kabam. And that is going to be proved with a very simple example. The crystal drop rate issue. In any company that I have worked or I have observed working, you can make a mistake. Let's say post an offer for cab crystals with wrong drop rates. It's fairly big mess up. PR, community managers need to get involved, compensation need to get posted. Surely somebody has to be upset, and surely somebody has to get their ass whooped for it. If normal company would have this incident, then you would be willing to bet that at the very least the same exact issue will not repeat itself for a fairly long time. But in Kabam's case, the same mistake gets made again and again and again, and we have had 8, 9, 10 offers where Kabam's selling cow crystals with wrong drop rates in last 3-4 months. That signals one very basic thing. There's no accountability, there's no consequence for the error. If there's no consequence, there's very little incentive or reason to give a fuck. Who cares? I made a mistake or I didn't make a mistake. At the end of the week or at the end of the month, I'm going to collect my paycheck, go home, and there's no difference in that. And I personally believe that a lot of that is happening behind the scenes. Otherwise, it's very, impossible, in my opinion, to explain away all the frequent errors. Right now, we are in a situation where I feel the player base of this game is declining fairly significantly. There are major issues with the game, with the most fundamentally deep level, clearly with the game engine, with control inputs and so on and so forth, which is evident by the, compensation packs being sent that are pleasing less and less people at this point. Then we still have infinite amount of bugs in the game with champion interactions, part of whom, it's fairly fine. There will always be some bugs. Nobody expects there to be none. But, some decrease in the amount of shit that goes wrong would be nice. At this point, I cannot recall a single month where all the champions were released and buffed without issues. I cannot recall a single month where side event or monthly event quest didn't have some sort of bugs or issues. And that just happens. Whether that's Summer of Pain and OP Collector, whether it's Variant 8 and bullshit and bug Deadpool X-Force and Venom Pull boss, whether it's story content, whether it's a champion with Silver Centurion infinite comboing, or Shang-Chi infinite stunning, and Icarus doing a ton more damage than everybody is meant to do, and everything comes out shit. In a situation like this, I am struggling myself at this point to motivate me to even make videos about the game. I have reduced the amount of videos and streams that I do because it just doesn't feel right. On a similar note, this year, I will have much harder time than ever actually committing, you know, any significant financial investment to Cyber Weekend offers. So far, every year, I've kind of counted on these like 2 sales a year. July 4th, Cyber Weekend, and I did my best to put aside a little bit of money to be ready to be spent on these massive, massive offers. With the current situation in the game, it just works as a combination of a ton of problems, I think, right now. I think it's also quite telling that I'm not really all that fussed about getting a rank 4 champion. Because there's fuck all difference from rank 3 to rank 4 champion, right? That is the item that I'm supposed to chase. I just don't really care for it that much because it gets like 14% attack increase. It's barely noticeable whether you have a rank 3 or rank 4 champion. So, you know, having a higher rank champion has lost a very big part of its meaning because it doesn't actually become stronger. Similarly to 6-star shards. You know, you can get new 6-stars. That's very cool. But 6-stars have been out for a very, very, very long time. And as a chase item, you know, yeah, there are obviously 6-stars that I want to acquire, but I acquire 6-star shards at a fairly reasonable rate, and I just don't value 6-star shards nowhere near as high as I did like 2 or 3 years ago. So at this point in the game, it kind of like feels that I'm not even sure Kabam can offer like all that much to make it super exciting like it used to be. And then on top of that, obviously there's this sense of insecurity, sense of beauty or magic of this game somewhat fleeing away. And obviously it's up to Kabam to recapture it, re-energize the player base, and trust me, I really hope they do. If they would message me directly, I would offer them my help and I would really take it seriously, or anything that I could do to make the situation better. But I cannot pretend that it's not happening. Look at all of these headlines. Toxic sentiments towards Kabam, Alliance War mismatch, AQ issues, where's the fun gone, Kabam never learns, Finger clear bugged, bugs known issues. You know, close threads for AQ changes without proper replies there. Lines one mismatch. Shut down AQ cycle. If you just look at what community is talking. Community is talking about 50 different things, be that AQ, be that AW, be that story content, be that bugs, be that other issues, and very little of it's good right now. And there is no magic wand how to solve the situation. But if somebody is going to look me in the face and with a serious expression is going to tell me that the game is on an upwards trajectory, I'd want to slap the living daylights out of them. There's going to be 500 Kabam White Knights commenting on this video probably, saying, I don't know what I'm talking about. The game, again, using the same phrase, everybody always says the game dies. I'm not saying the game's dying. I'm saying the game's shrinking. In player base, in its income, and its enjoyment. Quality is dropping. And so is the level of entertainment. There is absolute shit ton of work to be done. And it 100%, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, has to start with talking to players daily. Or, I don't know, every 3 days. We need a post of progress of an update with general situation. With Kabam, with the game, what they are doing, what they are working on, what they are worried about. Because at the moment, it's very hard to believe that Kabam themselves care. I mean, I believe that there are plenty of people in Kabam working right now because they do care for their jobs and what they do. But I do get more and more impression that many people don't believe that Kabam actually gives a shit. Not anymore. And I think that would be the single most important change that we need to see Kabam make. we as a player base genuinely need to see the sense of urgency. Situation like this, and companies that I have worked in past, would call for dozens of people working overtime. There to be meeting after meeting, or people just being pushed to their maximum to get as many issues sorted. And I don't think we get that impression. I certainly don't. I believe that there are individuals who are very focused in fixing the problems. I don't believe that the company, the workforce as such, is being pushed or is being, realistic on what's happening. Let me know what you guys think. But I did want to make this video talking about spending money on this game right now, especially large amounts of it. And I probably should have started the video with this, but slipped my mind, as always. It's very important never to spend money that you do not have. If you have money, if you can afford it, it's up to you whether you want to spend it on a game in a state like this or not. But if that money could help you in any other meaningful way, if you, I don't know, maybe need new pair of sneakers, or maybe it's finally time to upgrade your phone, or maybe, you want to take out your other half for a nice dinner in town, probably better thing to do it. If you have to make any sacrifices in real life for the pixels, probably keep the money there. Anyhow, that is it. Let me know what you guys think. And catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the next